What's up everyone, Saintsfan back again with another GTA 5 Gunrunning video, and today, since many of you guys requested that I make a video on this topic, here it is. I'll be showing you guys in this video how to make money with the Gunrunning DLC. I'll be going over a bunch of tips and tricks, especially if you are playing solo, and I'll be talking about stuff that you just should know regarding the process of how this all works, because Rockstar, they don't really spell it out for you. You have to sort of figure it out on your own. So hopefully this video does help you guys out. One thing I will say is that this DLC is not really to make money. Like, the import-export DLC, when it came out, was incredible. It was a great way to make money. It introduced this really cool and new concept and fun sort of gameplay mechanic to the game, and a lot of people liked it. And I guess sort of since it's been, what, 6 months since that's come out, we were sort of anticipating or hoping that Gunrunning would be somewhat similar, but unfortunately it's not. It's basically the MC missions 2.0. And what that means is that this is passive income. This is something that you just let run. You don't actively have to look at it. You don't actively have to do anything with it, like the import-export DLC and like the CEO crates. And that's either a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, it's a good thing if you combine it with other ways of selling and making money, but it's a bad thing if you were hoping for a new way, you know, that would maybe replace the import-export DLC in terms of making money for you. And I definitely understand where a lot of people are coming from, because we did wait 6 months for this DLC to come out. And look, the cars, the guns, all the other stuff that you can buy, that's all awesome. But the missions are sort of what hold it down. Like, the supply missions are really cool, but that's not what makes you money. And I feel like a lot of people are just upset that it takes so long to get your product bar really full. And even though it does eventually get you $1 million if you sell it, that's $1 million over like 8 hours or something. And like I said a minute ago, a lot of people were hoping that this DLC would replace the import-export DLC, because if you think about it, people have been grinding that import-export DLC and all those missions for 6 months now. And I'm sure a lot of people are tired. I mean, look, the missions are really fun. You're driving fast cars. They're cool and all that. But at a certain point, it does get a little boring. So I can understand where people are coming from. But anyway, getting to the point of this video, how to make money and talking about some stuff. So first off, I want to talk about the resupply part of this entire process, because if you have been living under a rock, if you haven't bought a bunker, you don't know what's going on, there are 3 sort of steps. You got to resupply, then you have to wait, and then you have to sell. So to resupply, there are 2 options like the MC. You can either buy or you can steal. Now, most of these supply missions can be done solo, although some of them are a little bit more complicated, so they do, while they don't require an associate, it would be helpful. It'd be beneficial to you if you had at least one other person helping you out. But most of them can be done solo. The only benefit, by the way, if you have more associates, is that one supply mission may actually get you more supplies. Because the way it works now, supplies are picked up in a 20 unit bundle. So each sort of supplies you go out and get, that's only going to be 20 units. And your bunker holds 100. So you're going to need to do that 5 times if you're doing this solo to fill it up to 100%. Where if you're doing this with friends, let's say you're an MC and you have 4 people helping you out, so you have a total of 5 people, sometimes the game may spawn like 3 or 4 supply crates that you can pick up, that you and your associates can pick up, so that obviously will get you your supplies a lot quicker. Now, if you're wondering how long it takes that fully upgraded supply bar to run out, if you have no upgrades, if you just have a stock bunker, that supply bar at 100 units will run out every 100 minutes, which is every 1 hour and 40 minutes. So relatively quickly. But if you have it fully upgraded, if you have all the upgrades purchased, then that bar will actually take 2 hours and 20 minutes to deplete. Now, getting into the waiting part, this is the part that's somewhat confusing, and this is the part that you're definitely going to want to pay attention to if you are going to be selling this stuff solo. So a bunker with no upgrades will create 1 unit of stock worth 5,000 every 10 minutes. So if you have no upgrades, it will take 1,000 minutes, which is 16 hours and 40 minutes, to be full. That is a ridiculous amount of time. However, if you have a fully upgraded bunker with all the upgrades, then it will create 1 unit of stock worth 7,000 every 7 minutes. So the full, or the bunker product, will be full in 700 minutes, which is 11 hours and 40 minutes. So a little bit better, but that's still that's a pretty freaking long time. Now, unlike the CEO stuff, the crates and the well, I guess not really the import-export stuff, but unlike the crate stuff, there is no advantage to selling in a huge or in large quantities. You can sell it with one bar or one little unit of stock, or you can sell it with 100. It doesn't matter. You're going to get the same amount regardless. And that's why this is somewhat good for selling solo. Now, the way it works, there's 4 different divisions, I guess. So there's 100 units total, and they break it up 1 to 25, 25 or 26 to 50, 51 to 75, and then 76 to 100. Now, the one we're going to be taking a look at for solo use is 1 to 25 units. Anything over 25 units, that's where selling this stuff solo is going to get a little bit trickier. Now, if you're wondering how to get units or how to determine how many units you have, there are 2 ways. One, you can just divide however much the value is by 7,000, assuming you have a fully upgraded bunker, and that'll give you the amount of units. Like at one point in mine, I had 98,000 as my value. If I divided that by 7,000, I got 14, so that's how many units I have. If you don't have a fully upgraded bunker, you divide that number by 5,000, and that'll tell you it. Or if you don't want to do math, then all you have to do is look at the value. So 25 units, that is $175,000 in value. So basically, for solo use, you want to sell at $175,000 or below. If it gets over $175,000, that's where you're going to run into potentially some complicated problems. Because what ends up happening, once you hit that $175,000 limit, the game will spawn more than one vehicle sometimes on sell missions. So if you have 82,000, then sometimes it'll spawn 2 vehicles instead of 1. But if you're at 175,000 or below, then the game will definitely spawn only 1 vehicle. So that's why I was saying, if you're looking to sell solo, this is what you're going to want to pay attention to. And it's kind of unfortunate that you can't just check your phone to see what your product is at or whatever, because then obviously you wouldn't have to go all the way back to your bunker to see. But just do know that, keep an eye out on the value. Now, you're not actually going to be selling at $175,000 because that's what it sells for in Blaine County. You're always going to be selling in Los Santos, which I believe that sells for like 200-some thousand. So that's not horrible. I mean, again, the number, it doesn't really matter if you're selling it then or if you're waiting till a full product or full value. You're going to get the same amount regardless. So if you are selling this stuff solo, sell it before it gets to $175,000. Now, the other ones, if you do have some associates that can help you, 350,000 is 50 units. So that anything below that, like from 175,000 to 350,000, anywhere between there, that's going to give you 1 to 2 cars. Now, 525,000, this is 75 units. So any value between 350,000 and 525,000, that will sometimes spawn you 3 cars, and then 525,000 to 700,000, the maximum amount, that sometimes could even spawn you 4 vehicles. Now, there are a bunch of different selling missions. I know one actually just requires you to drive it gives you a phantom wedge with a trailer on the back, and you just have to drive that to a location. But other times it'll give you multiple cars where you have to sell. And obviously, if you're doing this stuff solo, multiple cars is not going to work out, because what they actually did, so instead of like the MC stuff giving you 30 minutes, sometimes they cut that in half to only 15 minutes. So if your bunker's super far away, there's no way that you're going to be able to sell 2 vehicles, because you're going to have to go back to your bunker and then back to the city, and you can't do that in 15 minutes. So hopefully that makes sense. Just to reiterate, if you're doing this stuff solo, make sure the value doesn't get over 175,000 if you want to guarantee only 1 car spawning in the sell missions. Now, the good news, and this is what is actually kind of neat about this entire process, if you get a sell mission where you don't like it, like let's say it goes over 175,000 and you're like, dang it, I got 2 cars, what do I do? Instead of trying to sell the stuff and then failing, what you can do is just find a new session. And the only negative about this is you lose 1 unit of product. So you only lose $7,000 off that value if you find a new session while in a sell mission. And that's definitely really helpful, especially if there's a lot of people in your lobby. If there's someone with a Hydra coming after you and you don't want to lose everything, just quickly find a new session, and then at worst you have to wait 7 minutes to get that value back. I don't think that's bad at all. Obviously, if you do this more than once, then it's gonna sort of decrease a lot more, but that's definitely really nice, and at least it's not like you lose everything if you switch lobbies. So that is it with the video. Hopefully that helped you guys out. Again, like I was saying, there's not like a super strict method you should choose like there was when the import-export came out. I mean, when that one came out, it was like you did a source car, and then you did a VIP mission, and then you did another source car, and then you sold, then you did another VIP mission. There was like a whole process. This one, again, gun running is just passive income, so it's just something that you do in addition to the import-export stuff, or the VIP stuff, or the crate stuff. And I know that's not like maybe what a lot of people wanted, but that's how it is. So anyway, that is it with the video. Thank you all for watching. If this did help you out, please drop it a like. That'd be much appreciated. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. I forgot to actually mention this, but in case anyone was wondering if your bunker still produces product while you're doing a certain event or a certain thing in the game. So being in a free mode public lobby, obviously that is going to produce stuff in your bunker. Being in an invite only lobby in free mode also does produce stuff, you just can't sell it. Working as an associate for another CEO or MC, yes, your bunker will still produce. If you're doing a contact mission, your bunker will still produce. If you're doing races or heists, they will still produce. Pretty much anything that you do in GT Online, as long as you have supplies, your bunker will produce. You just can't obviously be in single player or something else. So hopefully that answers some of the questions that you may have regarding that topic.